always wear many hats. I always do lots of things, just trying to build time and space for me to learn it. I certainly couldn't do that working a full-time 9 to 5. Also terrifying, but that's entrepreneurship. Having my time be my own as a superpower. Just do the random thing, try it out. You don't have to keep doing it if you don't like it. And it just, that cliche moment of, oh, life's too short not to do the things that make you happy. I was like, you know what, I've got this opportunity to still earn money. You never know where your next opportunity is going to come from. Sometimes just having a conversation and talking about what you're doing and being interested in what other people do can take you so far.
Hello and welcome to Coffee and Oysters, the London Business Bay podcast where we get you together with business tips that actually work and let you know where it's worth tapping your oyster around the city. My name is Frances Adair Matthews. I am a certified Notion consultant and founder of the Notion Bar, where I get my clients together with personalized productivity systems built in Notion. For my system-loving girlies, never fear. Every month I host the Big Notion Energy Academy, where we go through Notion's latest releases and you can ask me, a Notion expert, your burning questions. Details in the show notes. Yeah, it's going. That is how things are. It is going. I'm doing a big sales push at the moment. Things normally get crazy in September as people still have this back to school mentality. Like, it's been quiet this summer, but I am getting ready for the big push ahead, really, and just trying to get myself in as good a position for that, essentially. But super excited for you to dive into today's episode.
Hey London Business Babe. This community is built for us and by us to ungatekeep your next move and life in the city. If you never want to miss out, subscribe to the Substack where episodes will land straight in your inbox. Plus, every other Monday, you'll get a chance to feature on the show by shouting yourself out in the Manifest Monday email. You never know who's listening. Details in the show notes. Now, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage and let's get into today's interview.
Today I'm here with Parveen Downer. Parveen has always had a passion for fashion design and has been sewing since she was 10. Bringing truly sustainable practices to a new clothing brand is her next challenge. Parveen also has a surface-based business as a career coach, helping people in tech be their most confident selves in their job search, new leadership role, or just generally. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. It's Monday morning, so the week is still ahead of us.
Yes, I don't know about you, but I woke up feeling tired.
I blame the weather.
Yeah, I'm so excited to chat today. Your story is fascinating because you're very much like a left brain, right brain kind of gal, which is cool. You've got this tech background, but also you're making incredible embroidery and fabric. And it's just a cool combination that you don't come across every day. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into this current path where you are now, where you've got fashion on one side, but then you've also got the career coaching on the other side?
Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that. I've never really felt settled in any one role. Like, I always wear many hats. I always do lots of things. I think that's why I intentionally went into the world of product management in the tech space before switching into coaching and fashion. It's a job where you have to do so many different things. That's the theme throughout my life. I don't just do one thing. I find it monotonous and boring. So, like, even in high school, it was, I want to do orchestra band, I want to play sports, and I'm going to take loads of classes because they interest me, including sewing. And then in university, it was, oh, I want to do this leadership program, but I'm doing a science degree, but I'm also going to start a French conversation club. So I just love to do different things. Most recently, I left my 9 to 5 tech career behind in 2024. I decided that I've got enough skills, enough backing and opportunity in the coaching space to help people in their tech career, their most confident selves, be it in a leadership role, as you said earlier, in their everyday roles. Yeah, trying to help them be the best selves at work. I had that as a financial underpinning. So it's not just because it brings me money that I do it. I do it because I genuinely enjoy it. but being able to free up some time to also build a fashion brand. The clothing part isn't new, but how clothes get made and all of the steps involved, that's all very new. So, yeah, just trying to build time and space for me to learn it. I certainly couldn't do that working a full-time 9 to 5 role in the startup world because it is very intense. So that's why I've made the decision to change. So far, really loving it, also terrifying, but that's entrepreneurship.
What's been the most surprising part about this journey, venturing out on your own, would you say?
I would say the most surprising part is just how much I enjoy my time being my own. At first, it was a really terrifying thing. It felt very like, oh, I have to have a structure for every day and every part of the day. And if I don't follow that, I'm going to fail. And actually, sometimes I spend grinding 3 hours in the morning, responding to emails, designing my tech pack for my clothing, working on content for my cohort clubs in my coaching business. Then I have the afternoon to sit and sew or embroider or go for a walk. And I was like, I wouldn't have done that in my 9 to 5 job, but I'm probably just as, if not more productive. So I think it's that having my time be my own as a superpower.
It's very cool. Just basically going where the energy takes you. How cool that that skill you picked up in high school is also something now that you properly pursue. Like,
Yeah.
just like do the random club.
Oh my gosh, that should be the mantra for everyone. Just do the random thing, try it out. You don't have to keep doing it if you don't like it.
But
Just try it.
it could take you somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I'm quite curious. So you used to work in the 9 to 5 tech world. What was that moment for you where you were like, actually, I don't want to be a product manager anymore, but maybe I want to help like managers. When did that switch flip for you?
This is a question that I get asked a lot, and it comes down to three things. Probably over the course of 2 years that I started taking this decision seriously. Rewind. 2.5 years before I made this decision, I actually went to it was a textiles fair in London. It's where a lot of people in the fashion space will go and try and source new textiles. So, like, they want to make a shirt or they want to make swimwear or knitwear, whatever. And it's just this massive hall in central London full of fabric samples. And you can talk to all the people who make the fabric. And I thought, I just want to see what it's about. I had no intention of ever starting a business. I just wanted to see what it was about. And when I was in there, I was flying with ideas of, I could have a clothing brand centered around embroidery and we could tell stories with our clothes. They don't have to be boring. They could be interesting and we could pay the people who make the clothes fairly and we could tell their stories as well as the stories of and like just couldn't shut that voice up. And I left there thinking maybe I'd do something with that. Maybe like in my 40s, like Vera Wang didn't really make a
Yeah.
big splash until she was 40. And I was like, okay, maybe that'll be me because I was in my early 30s at the time. And I thought, we'll just package that away and come back to it later. Then about a year later, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I kept thinking about all these very cool marketing things we could do. For example, having a fashion show that's kind of set all around the world. So we could drop little Easter eggs of like, okay, we're going to be at this location at this date and this time over the course of like a month or something. And then people could show up and see the clothes and we could photograph it and film it and stitch it together as a fashion show and have a little movie premiere. So it's more accessible rather than this very gate kept fashion shows are for fashion insiders only. Stuff like that. I'd be like, oh man, would it be really cool to do that? But it just always felt like other people start businesses, other people do that. I'm in my 9 to 5. I like my job. I like my colleagues. I'm good at what I do. So why would I change? And then I would say the biggest trigger was it was two people in my family who are very close to me fell ill or just aging really fast. And it just, that cliche moment of, oh, life's too short not to do the things that make you happy. And so all of those things combined, I was like, you know what? I've got this opportunity to still earn money and do something I really love and product manage people instead of software and build this fashion business. So that's how it all came about, was all of these series of realizations and opportunities.
Incredible. Yeah. Ooh, I also just really want to pick up on something that you just said there. When product managing people instead of software,
Yeah.
which I guess that is what coaching is. I suppose if
Yeah.
you peel it back, what are some of the similarities you see or even differences managing people versus software.
Yeah, I love this. I'll be honest with you, that phrase was just something rattling in my head. I was using AI to help me write some posts on LinkedIn, and I didn't actually put that in the input, but it put it in the output of like an introduction, like, who is Parveen? I product manage people. Like, yeah, that's it, that's right. And the way I compare it is like, instead of shipping a feature where people will consume it and we get some feedback on usage or adoption and things like that, it's rather people. So shipping confidence is kind of maybe, ooh, maybe we've just come up with a tagline. But when someone comes back to like, Parveen, I spoke up in my meeting, or I got that promotion, or I landed that job because I nailed the interview. Those to me are the features of great coaching, of like, you're getting what you want. You sought the help to get there. I'm just here to facilitate the journey, but you're the one who did the thing and it is launched. It is out there. So the adoption is like, oh, I got a pay raise, or I got that role that I wanted, or whatever it is. That's how I measure success. Is the person achieving the thing they wanted to, that we set out at the beginning of our journey together? Instead of features, it's achievements.
Confidence.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to bank that one for myself.
That's so cool. And so it's a little bit of a mindset switch going from working for someone else versus working for yourself, especially when you're in two wildly different streams of income. What are some of the skills that you really had to like train yourself on? Have you got like formal training, or have you just kind of been a learn on the job situation? What are some of those things that you've really had to upskill on and learn?
Yeah. I mean, you're full-time self-employed as well, right?
Yeah.
Did you also
For now.
make the leap from a friend? You never know how long it'll last.
And like, if someone wants to pay me, I'm down. I'm so.
There's the freedom of being self-employed, but also the burden of being self-employed. Like the other day, I was changing payment providers. Like, how am I collecting money, like invoicing and stuff like
Yeah.
that? Because it's so boring. Can someone else just do it? But we got there in the end. In terms of training, the biggest jump I've had to make is learning how to sell and market myself. I mean, I think when there's this understanding, or maybe lack of understanding, when you go self-employed, you actually don't do the thing you really want to do most of the time. You spend most of your time trying to win the business, trying to market yourself, and then you get to do what you really love for a little bit of the time. I mean, it's the same in sewing. A lot of people think, oh, when you sew clothes, you're just sitting at a sewing machine. It's like, no, drafting the pattern, you're cutting everything out. You are ironing so much. Like, just don't put the ironing board away. You're going to need to iron every bloody seam. So it's a bit like self-employment. You'd get to do the actual sewing, the thing you want to do, very little of the time. And I knew that beforehand because I had a lot of good conversations with people who had been self-employed. But yeah, you spend most of your time sales, marketing, setting up the business. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Suddenly it's just every business podcast under the sun, like this one.
Everyone. There's good ones and there's not so good ones. This is a great one. I've listened to some that I'm not going to get to listen again, but this one, lots of gems on this one.
Thank you. We try our best, and we have amazing guests. So, is it just you at the moment? Do you get any help at all, or do you outsource any part of your practice, even the bits that you just don't like to do?
I hope soon for my coaching business, as I start to have a more regular offering on a group side of things. And launching something called the Quietly Confident Club. We learn practical techniques to practice and build confidence. It's a muscle, not a skill you're born with. You can practice it and build it. Having a sort of confidence gym where you can build this in a safe space is something that I want to launch. I'm looking to launch that in September. And once that gets up and running, the hope is to run it once or twice a quarter in terms of different intakes and timings. I'll probably need a virtual assistant at some point to help with queries and things like that. On the clothing side, it is still just me, but I hope that when I launch my clothing business, I'll have an operations manager, someone who can keep the day-to-day going. And I mean, I'm sure I'll be very hands-on still, but just someone to have that peace of mind of like, oh, if I'm sick or if I go on holiday, it doesn't just grind to a halt. So that's in the future.
Fair enough. I feel like the world of fashion and clothing, especially fabric, feels so mystical to someone like me, more on the techie side of things. There are all of these hidden need to know conferences, people to know, and supply chains. How did you start to navigate that
Oh, I would say there's a lot of good free information out there. Just like in tech, when I first moved into product management, I was a project person and an operations person before. And I was like, there's free meetups out there and like there's places I can go meet people and ended up like running a community as well, which helps a lot. In terms of the fashion stuff, London is an amazing place to be a creative. I know there's a lot of people who slag it
Yeah.
off, like, oh, it's expensive. Oh, there isn't much support here. Those things are not entirely wrong. But there's also, if you know where to look, a lot of support. So, for example, I started signing up to newsletters of people I followed in the fashion space. They would refer other things like, have you been to Creative Mornings, for example? I don't know if you've heard of this
Yeah.
event. Yeah, so went to that in January for the first time, and I met a few really excellent people who were like, "Hey, I'm going to this other creative event. Do you want to come?" And it just kind of snowballed into every event I met someone, and then either we followed up or co-worked together, or I joined another creative community. I think that is something I do very well. Network, follow up, and stay in touch with people, not just for the sake of it, but it's like I can add value, you can add value, or we're having fun. One of the two.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. So really, it was just sort of don't try and find everything at once. It was more, let's do one thing, test it out, see if there's something I can iterate on or go on to the next thing.
Yeah, networking is a two-way street. I found that you get the most value out of it where you're trying to figure out the value that you can add rather than just thinking, what can I get out of this person that I feel like karma is real in that sense, and like what you give out, you get
Absolutely.
back.
You never know where your next opportunity is going to come from. And I think sometimes just having a conversation and talking about what you're doing and being interested in what other people do can take you so far. I went to this event by a community called Daga, and they run events for South Asian creatives, not just in London, like all around the UK. They have like online events and in person ones. I went to one of them in February, and the person they were interviewing was this incredible fashion designer and activist called Rahima Rahman, who I had never heard of. Everything you were saying is just what is in my head about what's wrong with the world of fashion. And how do you go about making it better? He's launched his brand. He's also a filmmaker. He's the most incredible person and also so kind. I went and spoke to him after. I was like, I would love to learn more about your journey and how you got to this point. His clothes are in the, you can see his clothes there because it's all incredible block printed stuff from Bangladesh. He introduced me to something called the Trash Club, which is a community of conscious creatives. So it's not just fashion, you've got like art, architecture, all sorts of stuff. And people who really care about the planet and creativity. I'm a bit more involved with them now. And I thought, I would never have heard about this if I hadn't spoken to this guy at this other event. That knock-on effect makes such a big difference.
Yeah, again, it's a flow of energy and interest, and it's going to keep going. So
Yeah.
cool. I was actually at the V&A storehouse the other week, so maybe I saw some of his work.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So that's something to jump off there, like because you have quite a multicultural heritage. You grew up in Vancouver, correct? But you
Yeah.
also have Indian heritage. Do you think that shapes your creative outlet?
Ooh, it's a good question. I would say it in some ways it used to hinder it because there was a societal pressure of like you're a doctor, engineer, a lawyer, and like that's it. And so that's part of where that mindset of, oh, other people start these businesses, other people do this, not me. And it's not that anyone in my family told me no, it was just sort of ingrained in me. But then since I've like woken up to this, I think woken up, God, that sounds so cringe. But anyways, since I've made this decision to change my career trajectory, I've really started appreciating all of the beautiful storytelling and craft that comes from my heritage. I went to India in April, mostly for holiday, a little bit for business. Like met with some manufacturers and got to go speak to craftspeople. So, carpet makers, embroiderers, marble inlayer, like all of the beautiful craft that comes from the regions I visited and just embracing how hard it is to master those things and how proud of their work they are. And I was like, I want to be not necessarily a master of one craft, but a master of showcasing and appreciating craft is where I want to get to. So yeah, it helped and then it hindered and then it's helped, I guess is how I would summarize that.
Fair enough. I guess it definitely helps to be able to interact with people from different cultures and almost like code switch on different points of view. And I'm curious, how is the UK vibe in terms of business and creativity different to the vibe over in Vancouver? would you say?
I don't know if I can credibly answer that question, as I've been in the UK now, it'll be 13 years next month.
Oh, okay.
So a good chunk of my life I've been here. But I would say my friends who have businesses in Vancouver, Toronto, or Calgary versus setting up here, I don't know much about the legalities of things, but what I would say is I feel like the opportunity is bigger in the UK. One, there's more people, but there's so much interest still in the UK. Brexit aside, all of the Reform Party and all that stuff aside, people still want to come here. People are still investing in their businesses here. And I know there's a lot of these doom articles and doom scrolling of like, oh, the UK is going to shit and people aren't investing. They're moving their operations elsewhere. And while that's true, there's still people who want to come here and invest. I think a good example of that is for London Fashion Week. For the last 2, 3 years, it's just been, for lack of a better word, shat on by the fashion community. You look at something called earned media value. So it's not just who you are paying to talk about your shows and the event. People are coming here and they want to talk about it. Paris Fashion Week is always top of the tops, but London is a little part of it. And people are like, what's the point of London Fashion Week anymore? But recently it was a bit of a shakeup in some of the big fashion organizations here in the UK. And there's actually, for the first time in a long time, more investment in London Fashion Week. Like they're going to financially support designers to showcase here. They're actively asking designers to not show abroad who are based in the UK. It's like, hey, show here instead. Money to invite notable people to come and be a part of it so that they can hopefully up that earned media value. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. And I think if you network in ways that will help you in support and collaborations with other designers and things like London Fashion Week, I think there's a lot of hope. I've lived here long enough, I can navigate the business ecosystem fine. There's so much vibrant creative energy here. Like, and that's not just like in Shoreditch or East London, everywhere. You've got co-working spaces, events, festivals, like fabric shops, even the mom and pop fabric shops, talking to people who own these. It's an incredible place to be a fashion creative if you know the right places to look.
Yeah, you just gotta be intentionally curious. Like
Yeah.
literally dive into the sea.
Yeah.
It's all out there if you want it.
Exactly. The world is your oyster.
I love that. Thank you. This has been so fascinating through all of your journeys. If you had a standout tip for someone who wanted to jump out and do their own thing, make a big career transition, what would it be?
So it's not necessarily just one sort of tip. It would be, how can you be sure? And for me, it was going through a series of questions like, how much money do I need to make to live the lifestyle I want?
Yeah.
And where do I want to live? Am I attached to a place? If I were to paint my ideal day, what does that look like? And then do I still want to do those things on the bad days? Because you can paint a blue sky, but there's always going to be clouds rolling in. And how do you deal with that? It's not just about what are the good things I'm after, but can I handle these on the not so good days? And I think answering those types of questions really help solidify the decision for me of what is it that I value from my own lifestyle and legacy. Like I've intentionally chosen that, my husband and I, we don't want kids, but we still want to make a positive impact in the world. And that doesn't have to just be through family. There's other ways to do it. Coaching other people. I'm a Girl Guide leader. I have a unit here. I do get to interact with younger generations still, which is amazing. I do a bit of stand-up comedy because, let's do all the clubs.
They're all the clubs.
So what does that look like? What kind of energy do you want to have? And on the days where you don't have it, what do you want to be doing? And then that can help answer the question for you. If you need the coach's help to do that, obviously shameless plug, someone like me can help you. Or if you want to figure that out on your own, that's cool too. But those kinds of questions are the things that help me get to this decision. And I think they're great questions to ask yourself as well if you don't want something different or something more.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot sometimes for people to be able to even willingly ask themselves those questions. Maybe that's something that they haven't considered before. And now they have to get really vulnerable and be like, what do I want? What does matter to me? I find that as well, my own practice of being a motion consultant, people have never really thought about their systems and what they actually care about achieving. So, yeah, if you don't feel comfortable going through that on your own, definitely seek help, because it's so helpful when you get to the root of it all.
I wonder, in your role, do you find that you're kind of half consultant, half therapist? Because it's kind of working through the like, oh, I didn't know I need all of that. Or, oh, yes, I do need a system, but I don't know what I'm doing. It sounds like you maybe juggle a lot of hats.
Oh, yeah. I literally say that to people all the time. Honestly, it's more like 60% therapist, because I have to build custom systems. I have to pull out of people, well, like, what is the information that's most valuable to you? And then I have to pull that out to the front or make it really easy to access, automate it, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. And even get them people to be honest with themselves, where it's like, what's falling through the cracks, and get them to admit that, like, I'm too lazy to do this thing, but it's really important to me, so we need to automate that. It's an interesting job.
Okay.
Hope you're enjoying the show. Would love to hear what you're thinking. Drop a comment and share your thoughts. Even better, if you're loving the show, take 2 seconds to rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast. It really helps other people find us. And if you want to be a guest, details in the show notes on how to sign up. Now, let's jump back in. Thank you for taking us through your business journey. Now we're going to move on to the section where we talk about things that make your life easier or more fun.
All right. Sounds good.
First of all, do you have a walk-up song or a song that gets you hyped?
So, shameless plug again. I actually have a whole playlist. It's one of the things I deliver in some of the workshops that I do about how to be confident. One of the things I advocate for is people should have their own confidence playlist. When you hear a song and it just makes you feel so good, whack it on a playlist. And then over time, you're going to build that playlist and it's going to have all these songs that made you feel your best. I have a playlist, it's called Parveen's Confidence Playlist on Spotify. It's open, anyone can access it. But yeah, there's a lot of songs on there where I'm like, yeah, just feel so good about myself. Like if I'm walking through the tube and I know there's a lot of people there, but actually no one's really paying attention to you. So you can just like stretch your stuff, have a little step. It's great. So I just whack that playlist on and go. But probably my favorite song on there, if I had to pick one, the one that I've been listening to on repeat recently is Revival by Gregory Porter. As soon as you hear the first riff, you're just like, yeah, I'm in it. Let's go.
I love Gregory Porter. I have not heard that song, so definitely going to put that on our Spotify playlist.
Amazing.
The Spotify playlist of all of the song suggestions.
Cool.
Okay, thank you. And do you have any personal policies that keep you grounded and make you not go crazy? Like, for example, mine is calls before 10 a.m. because you're just not going to get the best version of me unless it's an emergency or a time difference thing.
Interesting. Yeah. Maybe similar vein, protecting my time. So, for example, I've been working on a custom commission for a chef and need time to make the pattern, make the clothing, embroider the garment. And if I'm trying to do like 3 things at once, just none of them get done well. And so protecting my time of like, okay, this time is just for embroidering and sewing, or this time is just for creating content. That really keeps me grounded because I know I don't have to do anything else at that time. And if something's very urgent, people know how to get in touch with me. But protecting my time is probably the biggest thing that I do that keeps me sane.
Okay, it's so important. I'm more curious about what were you creating for a chef?
I was actually working on it just before we started talking, so I have it here. It's for this Bahraini chef named Noor Murad. I haven't shown this to her yet. I'm giving it to her tomorrow. It's this garment that I designed.
What?
I haven't finished the sleeves yet. I was interpreting her new cookbook into a garment. And just kind of, went off of some of the things she likes, colors she finds flattering, and hand embroidering all this cool stuff. These are pomegranates and they have these little seeds on them.
Okay.
Sort of 3D. And then we're going to do some black limes and coriander on the sleeves.
Such a cool project.
We're joining all the clubs still.
We're joining all the clubs. That's such a special piece to commemorate a really special project that she's done.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
You'll have to make one for you for all your Notion work. We'll do like little Notion things all over a shirt or something.
No. There is currently a girl in the Notion community. She 3D prints earrings at the moment with like ends on
Okay.
them. So
Yeah.
there is a market out there for
Okay.
cool. Love that. And then moving on to style. As someone who works in fashion, do you find yourself falling back on a certain style uniform, whether that be like an outfit formula or even brands that you love, or do you make a lot of your own clothes? How does that work for you?
It's a big mix. Like I made this shirt and I bought these buttons and they were just so loud. And I'm like, oh, I have an orange lip gloss. What can I put them on that will help them pop and stand out? And then I got this block printed fabric from India and I thought, oh, it's kind of parroty. So I'll look myself like I look like a parrot, like wings. I love designing stuff myself, but I do also like buying designer clothes at a bargain. I think one of the best bargains I ever got was a pair of Chloe pointed toe boots that are normally like 1,100 pounds for like 90 pounds.
Oh,
They're only worn once. Understandably, they're not the most comfortable, but they look fantastic.
they are a sitting shoe.
If you're sitting through or if you're being driven around, then it's great, which I don't do often. In terms of style code, I'm very much an advocate for all color all the time. It physically pains me to not wear any color. So a bright lip, color on my shirt, bottom, shoes, whatever, lots of colorful sneakers and trainers. I wouldn't say I have a uniform. It's more just dressing for how I feel, but also the function that I need. Do I need pockets that day? Or am I going to be eating a big meal? I need something that's going to be flattering after I eat a big meal. It's more about the comfort and the function, and the fashion has to suit the occasion.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Question. This is quite a controversial one for some people. It's on dresses with pockets.
Oh, I think more dresses should have them. They are functional, but they don't always help the garment look good.
This is
So if it drags it down or if it looks really obvious you've got something there, then it doesn't really need, and the material matters too. Like you could have a big voluminous dress with a stiff fabric, no problem. Put some pockets in there. But if it's a slinky, silky thing, do you really want the outline of your phone or
No.
keys? No. It needs to look good. Yeah, I've got my fashion brain on the design. Like it should look good, whether there's something in the pocket or not.
Okay, I feel very validated right now. Because you see all those viral clips and people trying to pose on, and it has pockets, and I'm like, that dress should not have pockets.
Yeah,
Material,
it doesn't.
It's going to drag it down. Now you're lopsided.
It's not flattery. Like it's functional, but not fashionable.
Yes, those big voluminous dresses, it does work. Okay, and then beauty. Do you have any hero beauty products that you turn to? Whether that be for your hair, skin, makeup, body? What are your favorites?
So 3 things. First is my facial moisturizer from the brand called Haru Wonder. It's a Korean skincare brand. I do not remember the name of the product, but it has refillable pots and it's excellent on my skin. I also use this hair product my hairdresser introduced me to. It's called Finny. It's a London-based, or maybe Chessington, the guy who invented it. There's like a small range of hair products, and it's this powder that turns to like a cream to keep my fringe in place, matte, so it doesn't get oily and shiny. It's such a random product, but my hairdresser introduced me to it, and I was like, this stuff's great. You don't get a huge amount of it in the actual package, but you don't need a lot of it. And it smells like oud. They're like, oh, we're the first scented hair products. I think it's actually aimed at men, but I was like, whatever, I'm going to use it. Scented hair products, who knew? And then the last thing is I love collecting perfume samples because I love wearing perfume, but I do not get through a whole bottle. To find the right scent for the mood or the outfit, like if it's more zesty and citrusy and bright or something that's more like woody, floral, I love having a range. Have a big perfume collection, like full-size bottles. But a lot of designers will have, or designers, perfume houses, you can get like little bottles of like little kits of samples, and that's perfect. Budget-wise, but also usage.
Yeah.
Find a scent fits the mood.
Yeah, because it also goes off, right? After a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
No.
I think one of my favorite things to pick up if we travel somewhere, like tiny little bottles of the roll-on scents.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's kind of nice when they run out because it's like that memory is done now. Then
Yeah.
we find something else.
We'll find another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. And then, so you're juggling a lot of things. What are some of your favorite tools or apps to help
Mhm.
keep you organized or help you make your creative process more efficient?
For the creative side, definitely Procreate is the drawing app, but I use it in a number of different ways. I read about this technique that some people use. I can't remember what it's called, but basically you put on an album and listen to it, and every time a new song comes on, you start drawing on a new page. Whatever comes out of you, just draw it. You might come up with absolute crap, it might be mediocre, it might be great, but the point is that you're creating on demand to music. So I love just using that app, especially to do that. But also for my fashion design, of like, I'm going to need to do these details there or think about this construction note. And it's just, I can put everything in one place. I love it.
Any others?
Yeah, Spotify is a big one. Live by the music and different music for different moods. I love listening to soundtracks, to podcasts, or ebooks. That's nice as well. I don't like that they keep increasing their prices. Even just for two of us, it's just as much as a family plan costs, I think, what it used to be. And I'm just like, please stop. But I need it, but also please stop. I don't know, but
I think that's a
it's
trend with
like
a lot of things.
all the sass. Yeah, I get it. I understand you need the money, but also please, us little guys, an extra £2 a month is a lot.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Motion. It does a lot of things, but what I use it mainly for is booking. I have like my booking links in there. So when people want to book into my diary, it's my to-do list. I like that it schedules things into my calendar. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
this is the day I'm going to work on my embroidery. This is the day I'm going to make my content. And I can be highly prescriptive about what times I work on different things. So I have like creative hours and my coaching hours and my go up and see an exhibition hours, something like that.
Nice.
It's been a game changer for me because I don't like having long to-do lists, but I also don't want to miss out and forget things.
Yeah.
It's a nice mix of not seeing everything in one long to-do list and knowing it's on my diary somewhere.
Yeah. Do you schedule in like an exhibition every week or
I
is
try
that
to go every 2 weeks to something new. There's so
okay?
many free things to see, but I also got an art pass for Christmas and you get cheap or free entry to lots of exhibitions. So yeah, it's a great way to stay inspired, but also a nice way to, with like people who are also self-employed who have
Mhm.
time during the day. It's like, you want to go on like a random Tuesday to go to a museum? And yeah, it's just a nice way to spend time.
Yeah, we call that. So I forget her last name, but her first name is Matilda. She has an incredible newsletter called Broken Growth, but she wrote
Oh.
a Substack about firing up your serendipity engine. So
Mm.
doing things that are intentional like that, where you just go to an exhibition every couple of weeks because you just don't know what happens, but you have to be intentional about doing it and like
Yeah.
schedule. So yeah.
Okay, I'll check that out. Thanks.
Welcome. And then, is there anything that you consume, like to make you a better business person? Podcasts, newsletters, books, etc.
Yeah, definitely. The ones I would say that I'm most gravitating to currently are the Mel Robbins podcast. Mel Robbins, just absolute fan club here. I've been listening to, there was one in particular that was about how to rewire your brain to, I don't think like for success was the end of the title, but it was like, I was just in a rut. I was feeling overwhelmed. And I thought, like, what can I do mentally to change this? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's just the next episode. Let's listen to it. So that was perfect. There's a fashion podcast called No Ordinary Cloth, and it's run by this wonderful woman named Millie and supported by, I think it's at the Fashion District or something. And she just has such interesting people in the fashion space on her podcast. So people who are making, for example, new fibers, like a new type of cotton, but made from potato waste. So all the stalks that shoot up from potatoes when they're being grown, that just it's just waste. But like, could we make a fiber out of it, like cotton? Cool. Or people who are in fashion tech. It's a really cool podcast. So I learned a huge amount from that. And then I would say the last one is the business side. I know a lot of people reference the lean startup as
Yeah.
a place to go to build your business, but the person who inspired the lean startup, one of their professors, his name was Steve Blank. They have a newsletter, but they also have a book called The Four Steps to Epiphany, which I was like, is this a religious book? But it is not a religious book. It's just about how to build a business. And they just ask so many great questions about like how are you positioning yourself, and what's your go-to-market strategy? Basically, the things a business consultant might work through with you, you can kind of work through yourself with this book. So that's been transformative for me because one is validated that I'm doing the right things and it's giving me some ideas for other things, which has been nice, like user research and testing and fitting.
Thank you for sharing. I'm actually quite curious about that last one. So I'm going
Yeah.
to research
So
that.
hey again. Did you know there are roughly 100,000 London business babes out there? And we're on a mission to reach as many as possible. Enjoying what you hear? To support the hours of work that goes into making this special, you can either A, consider supporting directly as a paid monthly Substack subscriber to also unlock future exclusive content for less than a coffee and a croissant. B, any brands listening, we'd love to explore ways for you to be part of the journey. C, at the very least, on your next co-working date, tell a fellow London business babe about us. Details in the show notes. Now let's jump back in.
Thank you so much for sharing all of your recommendations. As a reminder for everyone, I put all of the guest recommendations in the Coffee and Oysters guide, which will be in the show notes, so you can look back and basically have pre-vetted guide like life and London, essentially. So moving on to London, you let our listeners know.
So I'm based in Kingston, Southwest London.
Okay, a few people on this podcast have been based in Kingston, so there's a little creative hub going on down there.
Okay, and I need to go search them out. Like,
Yeah.
you've also been on the podcast. Let's be
Yeah.
friends.
Candice and Sarah is who you should be
Okay,
looking at.
cool.
And so, is there anything on your London bucket list?
Quite a few things, but I did see the questions beforehand, so I narrowed it down. On the food side, there's Gina, a restaurant that's opened in Chingford, a chef and pastry chef that I follow named Ravneet Gill. Her and her husband opened this spot. She takes her chips very seriously, and they do a beautiful triple cooked chip. And of course, the rest of the food's going to be amazing, but do you know how many times I've been let down by they say a triple cooked chip, but
No, I
it's
get
just
it.
crap. No, they take it seriously. It's on the other side of town, but I want to go there.
Okay. On that note, have you had the
Yeah.
triple cooked chips at Borough Market by London Bridge?
Wait, where in Borough Market is there a chip place?
Yeah, there's a wall in the main market bit, but street side in the building.
Is it like one of those Belgian places where it's just chips and like 50 types of sauce?
But the triple
Okay.
cooked chips, I can verify.
I will find out from you after where exactly that is, because yeah, there's just too many crappy chips out there. We
Yeah,
need better
no.
chips.
Please continue.
So there's an Indian fusion restaurant called Jaconi in Marylebone, and at that, or is it Mayfair? And somewhere fancy. I so badly want to try this place. It consistently is. I think it's sort of slightly under the radar of influencers and stuff like that, but very big in the food world. And so that's somewhere I really want to go. And then Rambutan in Borough Market is a Sri Lankan restaurant. Every time I've tried to go twice, they were closed one time. Their ovens or extractors weren't working, so they weren't legally allowed to be open. I was going to come and eat. So, yeah, we're going to try there again. Maybe third time's a charm.
Just sneak you a plate.
Do you have any food going to waste? Just put it in my mouth. That's
Love that. And is there anywhere that you verify that like you love, like food spots, drink spots, cafes, anything like that?
Okay, so local, like around Kingston, there is a really nice Malaysian place called Onde Onde. And if I ever have like that roti canai craving, that's where I go. It's very good. In the city, I'm really obsessed with bubble tea. It's a big part of my whole life. It's very big in Vancouver as well. And there's a place that opened called, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Chayan or Chayan, Chayyan. I think I spelled that right. They do this, I don't know how to say the first word. It's like osmanthus or something like that. And lychee milk tea. That's just, oh, and I'm pretty sure it's whole milk or cream. Like it's so rich. It's really, really good.
Okay.
I go out of my way for that bubble tea. It is so good. So good. And then in terms of like just food, when people get, well, there's one RIP. One of my favorite places I used to take people was called Chicken Sours. There was one
Yeah.
in Haggerston, one in Seven Dials. They recently closed their brick and mortar shops, but they still go to events and festivals. So I would just go to a festival to eat their food. It's so good. Their watermelon salad, their chicken burger. Oh my God, it's so good. In terms of places that are actually open, that's hard because I love to eat out and try new places, so I don't really go to the same place a
Yeah.
lot. Good cheap pizza, shout out to Pizza Union. It's fast, it's cheap, it's delicious.
Solid.
Solid.
And are you into like the cafe scene at all?
I would say, okay, so I'm a weirdo. I do not drink coffee very much. It just makes me so hyper, and my body doesn't like coffee. I like coffee, my body doesn't like coffee. So I don't really do the cafe thing. And matcha, I haven't really bought into the craze. I've just had it most of my life, so it's not like I need it
Yeah.
every day. Probably the bubble tea. That's
Okay.
probably for a good bubble tea I will go out of my way for.
Are you part of any co-working spaces or networking groups that you want to shout out?
So I'm not part of any co-working spaces at the moment, but I do co-work a lot in Art Lotel, the one in
Oh.
Shoreditch that's
Yeah.
like just right by the Old Street roundabout. That place is usually not overcrowded. I probably should have just like gate kept it, but whatever. We're not gatekeeping here. That place is really nice. In terms of communities, one that I joined last year rebranded to a new kind of entrepreneur or founder.
Okay.
Highly recommend, really low barrier to entry. I think they're relaunching in September, so it's closed at the moment. There's just a lot of really cool creatives there who do all sorts of stuff. You got wellness, marketing, coaching, fashion, and people who are really passionate about what they do all over the world, not just in the UK. We do some in person meetups sometimes. The last one I was going to shout out is Trash Club, started by the incredible Matthew Needham and Katie Manson, although she's not part of the club anymore. We're on the founding team, but it's community of conscious creatives, and definitely go check them out, trashclub.world. And they're just a genuinely lovely bunch of people who really care about the planet, but also about being super cool and doing creative things. So they've got a pop up in London right now at 100 Shoreditch. It's just really cool to see all these incredible creatives come together and have this shared ethos, but have very different expressions of creativity. It's been very inspiring to be a part of.
Don't worry if it's a lot to take in. All of the amazing tools, spots, and recommendations mentioned by our guests can be found in the Coffee and Oysters guide. Details in the show notes.
I wish I had unlimited time and unlimited fun.
Yes, agree.
That was the sad part about doing the show.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to all of these places, actually. Thank you so much for sharing. We are going to close out now, and I would love for you to share with us a recent win that you want to celebrate for yourself and a recent win of someone else's that you want to celebrate.
Oh, I love that you do this. This is so good. So, okay, I'll start with myself. A recent win was that I had my group coaching cohort program, my Quietly Confident Club idea, really validated at an in-person event that I went to. Talked about it for about 3 minutes, put up a QR code and say like, okay, well, is anyone going to give me their email address? Do they want to join? And I got like tens of people, which was incredible. So that was really, it felt so rewarding because it was an idea that I had. One of these things where it's like, I like it, but are other people going to like it? I don't know. I gave a talk earlier this year called How to Be Confident, and that sounds a bit wishy-washy and like, are you actually going to teach me anything? They weren't necessarily the most well-attended talks, but they were so impactful for the people who came. And I was like, well, what if we just did a practical thing over a number of months? And so when people were like, yeah, I'm interested, I want to help, like, and also you're cool, Parveen, like, I want to work with you. So that just felt so good. What a big win. And then in terms of someone else, probably the person who heads up Bleak, her name is Shaz. It's this pop-up that I was telling you about in Shoreditch. I actually helped with a little bit of the setup last week, and it launched on Saturday. And there are so many people coming into the store off the street being like, oh, what's this? What are you guys selling? This is really cool. And just how much already it is of a success. And it's only been going for like 3 days, 2 days. So yeah, that was incredible to be a part of, and also just to see them selling stuff because it's a pop-up. They're selling clothes from loads of different independent designers. So yeah, very cool to see it come to life.
Very cool. Love that. Everyone go check that out. How long it's on for?
I think it's the rest of August, the 30th, maybe it runs until.
This episode may not be out by then, but please go follow their work. And then lastly, I know I always like to say, you never know who's listening. Is there anything that you would like to plug, and is there anything that you need help with?
Love that. Okay, so I would say three things. One, I'm starting the Quietly Confident Club. So if you are interested, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, Parveen Downer, or maybe I can give you a link for the show notes to a Google form.
Yeah.
Amazing. I promise not to spam you with lots of emails, but if confidence is something that you want to build, I would love to have you in the program. Let's build some confidence together. Ship some confidence. Yes. And it's more than just product managers, but if you're in product, well, if you're not, that's also cool too. On the fashion side, if you are interested in working on the operations side of an e-commerce direct-to-consumer business, I will be looking for someone in the coming months. I can't promise that it's soon, but if it's something you're mildly interested in, I'd love to hear from you. LinkedIn's the best place, so just Parveen Downer on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be needing some help there. So things like working out our e-commerce website is something that I'll be putting in place, but when we start shipping, and inevitably there will be returns and customer service. So yeah, someone for that. Lastly, I will be needing a virtual assistant soon, and I know that a lot of your guests have them, but if anyone's listening who is one and like taking on more clients, I'm very happy to chat.
Exciting. Thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us today.
Yeah.
And is LinkedIn the best place to catch you, talk to you? Are you around on any of the other social networks?
Oh yeah, I'm so bad at promoting my socials. But yes, I am also on the social media. On TikTok, I'm at Parveen D, but DEE. On Instagram for my coaching business, I'm Coach Parveen D, but just the letter D. I probably should change that. Anyways, Coach Parveen D, just the letter, on Instagram and on TikTok, trying to build those accounts. For my fashion stuff, you can find me at find.the.triangle on Instagram, and I share some of my journey there. I do also have a website, but it's not really finished. But you know what? Put it out there and then make it good, right? So it's parveendowner.com. Check it out. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you much. And make sure to go check out all of those links and see everyone on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Get in touch at coffeeandoysters@gmail.com. Stay connected at Coffee and Oysters Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And never miss out by subscribing to Substack. Details in the show notes. And most importantly, keep those 5-star ratings coming and see you next time.